Melissa,
Yes,
I hear you had an incident that brings you to some questions.
that's right.
I'm afraid to ask. Do I need to be afraid to ask? All right,
Don't be afraid to ask.
lay it out.
There are a few little incidents. Um, First, I want to just point out that I feel anointed
You're
right
rocking a
now.
halo. I like
I
it.
know. I'm blessed.
You bless
Have a
this room,
blessed day.
bless this room, bless this space,
Bless this mess.
bless this space.
Okay, so first, let us pay honor to eclipse season.
One down, one to go.
That's right. And even though I think we talked about in one of our other meetings, even though the lunation, the notable lunation prior to this eclipse was not an eclipse, it had the feel, it was given eclipse energy.
The early new moon in Virgo, right?
That's right.
Smack
That's
at the
right.
start of Virgo season was a very eclipse-like new moon without being technically an eclipse. Yeah.
Correct. So there's been, what did I text you the other day? I said something's strange things were foot at the Circle K or whatever it
And
is.
I was like, bam, with the GIF. I'm like, I'm so fast with that GIF.
Man, it's true.
That's a
Okay,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure reference for the non-Gen Xers in the viewership.
that's right. So there's been a lot of activity just to wrap it up in a little bow,
What
and then you can open it. You can open it. So since my birthday, let's just go ahead and call it out. Since my birthday, I've been, and I've moved into this. We talked about this in another one of the podcasts, a perfection year.
Yes, you're in a new profection year
Yes.
at your birthday every year. We all are. Yep.
And this year, I am in my second Saturn year, which
Because the
is
Saturn signs are back to back.
Aquarius.
We got
Yeah.
Capricorn, and then we get another Saturn ruled year by
Mhm.
traditional astrology,
Mhm.
which profection is a traditional technique. So
Yes.
after we've had a Capricorn Saturn ruled year, we get the present, the gift of a second Saturn ruled year, but make it Aquarius, make it funky.
So, you know, Jack in the Boxes?
Very much.
That's what this second Saturn year has felt like.
Mm. Tell,
Surprise.
tell me more. That's rattly.
Energy, lots of energy. So so that is, I know, traditionally, traditional planet Saturn, and there is an association with Aquarius and Uranus.
Modern astrology gives Aquarius to Uranus, gives Pisces to Neptune, gives Pluto to Mars. No, gives Scorpio
Pluto.
to
Yeah.
Pluto, takes it away from Mars. Got
Mhm.
it. Which I can't undo that one. Mars
That
Mars Scorpio is just correct. But
yeah.
but
S
but
so, yeah, so what I'm saying is I love Pluto, love me some Pluto, protective of
absolutely
Pluto, but
absolutely.
also Uranus is pretty freaking cool. And now I realize that there are some things maybe that I might want to do in addition to all of the things that are moving around with the eclipse. I've moved into this different year of my life where I'm needing to get used to Uranus. In addition, Uranus has been doing some things, some transits. I think wasn't Uranus square in that new moon in Virgo?
Let's do it. Let's take a look.
And then moving backward now in Gemini. So Uranus has had some,
So this is the new
been
moon.
showing up.
Yeah, the new moon in Virgo that we had on August 22nd, which was right at the start of Virgo season and technically your birthday, even
Yeah.
though you are a Leo and you were born before the sun moved into Virgo.
Right. Yeah.
This particular new moon was in a almost exact square to Uranus in Gemini, and Uranus says, where am I not free? I'm going to come in and check the place out. I'm casing the joint, and then I'm going to start flipping tables for anywhere that I am not free to break free. So there's
Yeah.
a good mission to it that innovation, that ahead of the curve, the I'm going to shake things up energy of Uranus is for the good, but it creates a pretty intense situation with this new moon in particular by this square that we experienced on your birthday. Yes.
Yes. The reason I'm a backstory kind of gal.
Love
And
it.
so the reason I'm bringing all of this up is to say, I'd like to know how, regarding chart harmony, regarding like remediation of some, if you're feeling imbalance in your own chart or with the transits, how one might step into a different imbalanced, a fair and balanced
Yeah.
relationship with these different planets. In particular for me right now, Uranus.
Right. Okay.
Because since since I moved into this year and a lot of other things and right at eclipse season, here's been my experience. Lots of activity in my brain.
Oh God, yes. So much activity in the brain. Aquarius is the ultimate air sign. Like Gemini, like Libra, loves to chat, 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 chat. Gemini, chat with self, doesn't need anybody there, happy to just have a conversation with self. Libra wants one other person to bounce things off of. Aquarius is all the ideas to the world and all the universes and all the timelines simultaneously.
Yes, it is, in fact.
Yeah.
In fact, it feels that way.
Yeah.
And it is not, it feels like it's not only in my head, but the incoming.
Yeah.
So there's been the way that I've felt is probably because of the eclipses and this Uranus thing is like wired and tired.
Okay.
So I'm getting the info, I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things, meaning like just incoming information. My sleep's definitely been disrupted, which I think a lot of people have had. Lots and lots of, different players involved with dreams and everything. But the way it has felt vibrationally, it's felt like I'm just kind of going, moving along, and everyone else is too. I'm picking up on all their stuff.
I believe that.
And it's felt electric.
Yes. Electric is a big Uranus
Oh,
quality. Like
okay.
thunderstorms, lightning strikes, weather in general. We see Uranus as a big player, especially as Uranus is now retrograding back into Taurus, not in Taurus yet, but will be. We'll see also things like earthquakey type stuff and yeah, unexpected
Lightning storms?
lightning storms, definitely unexpected weather things happening in places that we're like, why is there hail here? It hasn't hailed here in 100 years, or usually it's more like 84 years, which is the last time Uranus was in that sign, because Uranus 84 years to go around. Yeah, Uranus is a big player in static electricity and bursts of energy in general.
Well,
What you
that's
got?
raising my hand. And I'll go ahead and share that right before. I think it was the same day, maybe, or at least the night before, Uranus went and started backing that thing up.
Yep.
There was a lightning storm in Nashville, unlike I've seen.
Yep.
And I say that, I mean, I'm an observer of weather. It was like a lightning storm with no lightning, some thunder, very little rain, and
Yep.
it went on for hours.
Ooh, that's
So much lightning, so much lightning.
usually they're quick.
Multiple people commented on it. It looked very dark and looming, but I mean, again, there wasn't even lots of wind or anything. It was just lightning for hours. So that was on Friday night.
Yep.
The lights in our house,
Yep.
granted, I have an old house, but most of the stuff is updated. There were just these surges. The lights would go. This went on for an hour and something. At some point, the lights went out, but two lights in the house were on, which is Jonathan and I were like, what the ever loving hell's going on? There are two lights in the house. Then everything kind of went back on. And then it finally went off. It had never shut off. And again, this went on for a really long time. And also, I don't think this is personal because everybody in Nashville, everyone in Middle Tennessee
Yeah,
experienced.
yeah, yeah.
It's not like I think Uranus is coming for me, just an observation.
Yeah, of course.
But then there's more. There's more. So the lights went out, and then we heard this popping sound
Woo.
toward in the back of the house. And Jonathan went downstairs into the basement because the lights weren't coming back on.
Right.
And so he was able to turn on several of the fuses, and then there were 3 that just weren't. And he was like, "I'm not messing with those right now." Oh, he tried and they sparked.
Oh,
And he was like, "No, not doing this.
good.
We're gonna call an electrician." So the next morning, my kid came home and was like, "The lights are out of my room." So we tried to figure some of that out, and we're like, "We're not messing with it." He tried it again. He's like, "I'm not touching this." Next morning, we have a bearded dragon
Oh, yes. I've
back
met
in your
I've
house.
I've
So
met
he
your
needs
bearded
sun. I mean, that was not anything we could neglect. And this was the room in which, like one of the rooms where there was no electricity. So he was like, "I need to plug in Van's stuff for his enclosure." And so he got an extension cord from a room, brought it in here, plugged it in, was walking off, and he heard this popping
Mm-mm.
and turned around, and there was an electrical fire. Yeah. So,
I don't like that.
you know,
How's the bearded dragon?
oh, he's great. I'm very thankful.
Okay. Everybody's
Gratitude.
okay. Everybody's okay.
Oh, everybody's okay. I'm okay. The house is okay. We were very fortunate. I feel so very thankful that it all happened the way it happened in a
With
lot of
him
different
right.
situations.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
it
right
could have
there so you could catch it. Like, yeah.
all that. I've never had an electrical fire. I've never had a fire in the house.
Right.
And I've never had lightning
Yeah.
hit the house
Right.
or,
And lightning didn't hit the house. It wasn't like that's what caused it, right? Or was it?
they think it was
They think
lightning
it
hit the
was. Okay.
house.
That's a lot. That's a
So
lot.
there are just some things, like that. And
Well, so one of the things, because of course you text me, I get photos of things that I'm like, oh, whoop, that's a lot of energy. That's hi Uranus, how you doing? One of the things that I immediately suggested is, did you create your Uranus altar? And that was actually something that I had asked about at your birthday time, because going into a second Saturn ruled year, creating a place for the Aquarius version of Saturn's energy, or in your case, also Uranus, because in your chart, everything comes with a co-star. You don't have anything by itself. It's all like, who can I bring to this party? So it's like, you're going to get both those rulers, apparently. Clearly,
yeah, it's
Uranus.
personal. It's in my 4th house.
Yeah,
Right.
Uranus is in your 4th house. Uranus
Yeah.
has said, hi, let me show up in your house.
That's right.
Yeah.
Legit.
Did you create a space for, because one of the things that an altar does, an altar just means a place where you agree this is energy for a thing. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be woo, it doesn't have to be witchy. I just want to make sure that that's clear for anybody who's like never built an altar. What is it? It can be a shoebox. It can be a cute little bowl like this that I got at probably Pier 1, and you put things in it that you declare this is the place for the energy, and I'm making it represent that. It can be you write things down and put it in there. It can be put some crystals in there. It could, whatever it is or needs to be. Did you, Melissa, create a space for the energy of your year's perfected rulers?
Is this a trick question?
Think,
No, I did not.
I think our audience wants to know.
No, I did not.
So by not creating a space for Uranus to come, your whole 4th house said, I'm ready.
Yeah, it sure did. Now, have I, at this point, you bet your ass. You're like, I think what you said was, this is like needing to not contain, but like give boundaries to a child. Uranus is like pop, 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 pop. Look
And
at
you just
that.
want to say, pop right in here. Pop right in here.
Yeah.
Here's your tub. Here's your bowl. Here's
Fireplace.
your fireplace. Perfect.
Fireplace.
Yeah.
Fireplace. Uh-huh.
I love it. I love
I
it.
didn't want to do it back here.
Nope.
I didn't want to do it in my,
Mm.
I didn't want to call Uranus energy
That's right.
into my space that's like more calming and connected and
Agree.
you
Agree.
know. So a
Agreed.
fireplace feels like a really good place to do it.
It's great because what we want is not to make Uranus not do Uranus shit. We want the Uranus shit to be done in a place that is safe to receive Uranus energy and respects what it is.
Because it's awesome. I love where am I not free? Let me just tell you what, I'll flip a table. I'll do all of that stuff. But then that can be a little much for for people. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uranus transits are intense. In fact, the first one of the midlife transits famously, some say start at 36, 37 when you have your second nodal return. Yes. And some say happen age 42, which is, or 40, 41, 42, 43, when you have your Uranus opposition. Either way, somewhere in those late 30s, early 40s period, we enter into a section of our lives that feels completely unmoored. And for most of us, creates a very distinct before and after story. And that's because Uranus comes in and says, I'm sorry, I think this life that you've built is cute, but I got more I need you to do. And that
Yeah.
Uranus opposition tends to be the place where we can look back and go, oh, okay, I see where that got started. And then we continue to have Uranus transits, and we did before too, but earlier in life, we don't have as much momentum for that disruption as we tend to have by the early 40s.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that in one of the podcasts, and I was like, oh boy, that was the year that things really, by my own choices.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We will
I
burn
flipped
down
my own self upside down.
Absolutely. What I described it as, I looked at my lovely little life, and I took a hand grenade and took the pin out and just tossed the grenade into my life, and then just watched. And I'm like, what are you doing, Gillespie? I was like,
I gave my own self a wedgie. I mean,
that's it.
and it flipped myself over.
That's
So,
it.
and I have some regrets about some of the things, but I certainly wouldn't be where I am today.
And that's kind of how I
without
feel about it
that.
as well. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Yes.
So how do you do the how might you do some remediation, some chart harmony? I know it's more around the not the outers as much,
Right.
because that impacts generations, but it can certainly be personal.
Well, especially because the farther out the planet is, meaning outers farther out, and the closer in your natal placement that's getting the transit, the bigger impact that transit will have on your natal chart. And our natal chart is that your chart is your chart. And also with timing techniques, we can do things that shift things. Yes. But transits happening all the time to activate things in our natal chart, that story is constantly happening. And when we know that we've got, or when we learn that we have something in our natal chart that isn't happy there, or that is potentially ripe for activations that are less pleasant or more extreme than we would like, we can do things to mitigate how rough those may feel in our system. It's sort of like some of them are taking a Xanax before getting on a plane, and some of them are knowing how to be stone cold sober during turbulence and settle your nervous system down.
Right.
And everywhere in between. So with the outers, there is a different way we treat them. And what we'll do is we'll do another episode where we go through all the main chart harmony, like color by color, planet by planet. Like there's 7 traditional planets, and technically it's 5 planets and 2 luminaries, but we'll do that in another episode. And here, though, I will introduce what I would do with the outers, starting with our buddy Uranus, which is Uranus is seen as a higher octave of Mercury. And so it's got that frenetic, fast, changeable energy that Mercury is famous for. And Uranus is seen as the modern ruler of Aquarius, which is an air sign. And it is an air sign that pops all over the place, which means air signs are done with pink chart harmony. Mercury is done with pink chart harmony. Bring together the pink from both of those directions, and you've got a really good Uranus list of things you can do. If you want to do a tip of the hat to the Daddy Saturn traditional rulership of a sign like Aquarius, then you can add a little black to it, which is where we get to, I'm going to use the fireplace as there's the black, there's the container for pink activities. And
those are the Doc Martens.
yes, exactly. I love that. That's great. It's the Doc Martens with a cute little Kiki outfit. Like you're adorable. That is, I'm bringing in that Aquarius energy, but very definitely got some Saturn shoes on. Yeah, that's great. That's the combination of energies that I would look to for Uranus. For Neptune, we're looking at a higher octave of Venus. And the way that this one's easy to remember is Venus is all about love, money, enoughness. Very important. Venus loves beauty. Venus wants things to look good. Venus rules both Taurus and Libra. Libra will people please all day to make sure that everything appears beautiful. Everything seems good, well, held together, not in a controlling kind of way, not in a Saturn kind of way, although Libra does have some Saturn stuff happening, but we just want it to look good because Venus is here to look good. Venus is here to feel good. Venus is here to lean into the pleasures. And as we mentioned before we started rolling, Taurus loves value, really wants things to be made well. The reason Taurus is considered so loyal is because Taurus is very selective in what they will choose. And then by choosing them, they've invested in whether it's a relationship or a piece of clothing or a place to live. And these things are going to make them feel held and almost like bathed in luxury. Where is Neptune in that conversation? Neptune is the storyteller. Neptune's the liar. Neptune is the actor planet. Neptune is the medical planet. Neptune says, you feel a certain way, and I'm going to give you a drug that when you take it, whether it's a prescribed drug or otherwise, it's going to make your brain believe a story that's different than what your brain is currently telling you is true about a symptom you're having or your ability to escape away from it and create something that is a fantasy. And that is a higher octave of Venus. It's saying we're going to take the storytelling of everything's fine and we're going to turn it up to you can escape into everything is fine. You can be told an entire generational lie about something and then papers come out and we learn the actual truth. And Neptune's like, I don't need to ever see the papers about what is actually true because what does it matter anyway? You got to remember with the outers, the reason they are the ones that we look at for generational information is because their timelines are so long. They don't operate on human brain time. We can't experience a Neptune return in our lives because it's 165 years for it to happen. So the timeline of, well, when does the story end? Long after you in this temporary skin suit are dead and buried and gone, or whatever it is that you do with your skin suit when you're done with it. So for Venus, we've got green. Venus is all about green chart harmony. Neptune actually brings in more of a Pisces kind of vibe. And it, of course, is the modern ruler of Pisces. It does that higher octave of beauty for Venus from a place of let's escape, let's float. So let's go blue for the water and let's go purple for the magic of it, because there's pure magic to that escapism. And so this is where we get into things like Neptune's the modern ruler of Pisces and Pisces is exalted in Venus. Like you see that relationship. right?
Mhm.
Like it's kind of, oh, hang on. Yes, that works. That works. That works. So even though Venus doesn't do water sign or the magic of that purple, it absolutely hosts that higher octave energy of it through that Pisces connection. And so we want to look at how to do purple and blue chart harmony things with a little green through line, because that's what brings some of that Neptune energy down to the reality of Earth, and Taurus in particular being an earth sign and saying, come on, green, let's bring it right here and make it real. Then we've got Pluto. Pluto, of course, is what Scorpio was given to, taken away from Mars in the modern rulership.
Mhm.
Scorpio is one of those that in chart harmony has blue for the water sign, green because it's great with a lot of the Venus values in some very strange way, and there's a
Right.
relationship between Libra and Scorpio that makes sense there, and also black, because Scorpio brings in the I need to structure it. I need to get to the bottom of it. There is no end to how deep I want to go
Mhm.
with the research that I'm doing in this information. And I don't need anybody else around me. That depth is definitely Saturn depth all the way to the bottom. And so it's like, well, then why are you talking about Mars here being its traditional ruler? Because it's got that tail. Like I love looking at the glyph for Scorpio and how it's got the tail that kicks up, and it's
Mhm.
got the Mars glyph on it, and it's like that is a stinger. That is the Scorpio, like I'm gonna pink, like you come get by me, and then I'm gonna go boop to you. Pluto also likes to cut a bitch, also likes to burn it to the motherfucking ground and start over. Pluto is the planet of transformation, and Scorpio is the sign of transformation. Scorpio says, I love a before and after story. The reason I want to
Mhm.
get to the bottom of things is because I want to know how is this going to pan out at the end. And so for Pluto chart harmony, we look to that black. We don't as much look to the green and the blue that Scorpio holds, but we do look to that black. And this is also why Mars has a relationship with red, 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 but also black. And that there's a numerology signature that we can tie in with all of this as well. That when we're mapping it all out, it makes sense that there are certain numbers that vibrate in a certain kind of way, along with planets and the planetary remediation that is done. But that is the outers in a nutshell for chart harmony representation. It is doable. You're going to do black things for Pluto, you're going to do blue and purple things for Neptune, and you're going to do mostly pink things for Uranus.
Okay, that's really helpful.
Okay.
I need to watch this again.
Okay.
Truly, because like legit, I'm not going to admit to it on screen, but there is something that I have been that I fought this whole time, and I'm like, oh my God, how could I have been so wrong about this really significant detail?
I'm so curious.
My Virgo South Node won't allow me to see screen.
I got you. I get it. I get it. My Virgo South Node is also sitting on something that really make my skin.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
But we yes.
so what about you? Do you want to talk about like how have you been? What are the things that you've been like what's been going bump in the night for you lately?
I am afraid to say, because I am so ahead of my like needs in terms of chart harmony and
Oh.
balance for things. I'm afraid to say it because once you say it out loud, you just begged it to come and kick you in the ass and show you, oh no, you were not ready for this. So what I will say is I have a really good relationship with the woo weather that is headed for us always, because I'm
Mhm.
always doing a calendar months ahead of when the woo weather is
Yeah.
landing, and I'm preparing for what I know is coming when it comes to what gets represented on my body, what gets represented in my little altars, especially right
Mhm.
now during eclipse season. None of it. During eclipse season, you cover your crystals, you don't do your ritual work. Obviously, there's some people who will say different, but I say cover your tools, like clean your tools, but cover your crystals, cover your altars, maybe even reset your altars for some new relationships in this new season. But
Mhm.
don't tinker with what kind of magic do I want to create, or what kind of intentions do I want to set during a time when the energy is its most intense. And
Mhm.
anyone who witnessed the actual moon moving through Aquarius into Pisces over the weekend. Saw it getting bigger and thicker and juicier and closer. And if you felt it, which I haven't met anyone who didn't feel it,
Right.
that energy bubbling up doesn't need to be infused into tools that you're going to then use on some random Tuesday in the future, thinking you're just doing a quick little Mars spell. And then you do it with something that happens to be infused with eclipse energy. The eclipse's signature is I'm going to be unpredictable. So we don't want that in our tools.
Well, and just to be super clear, when we talked about me creating an altar, I thought about that.
Right.
Like, do I want to? And then I thought, if Uranus is unpredictable and eclipse season can be unpredictable, I think what I do want to do is create something very simple.
That's right.
New relationship.
For now. Yep.
Maybe later I'll zhuzh it up, but really I was just like, hey, electricity in here.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Come on now.
That's it. And that's all you have to do. I'll
Right.
underscore, and then we'll close this episode and immediately start on the next one, which everybody watching at YouTube will have to go, is it up yet? I don't know. But the main thing to remember with all spell work, ritual work, whatever, chart harmony, planetary remediation of all kind, what we're actually doing is coming into connection with relationships that already exist in our natal chart and with the transits of the current woo weather always. And even a breath is a spell. We do not have to make it overly complicated in order for it to be effective. The intention is far more important than I have the right stuff.
Water, rest, quiet, water, rest, quiet. Rinse and repeat.
That's it. All right.
All right then.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.